Welcome to Roman Britain. Here in the north of England is one of the most famous monuments left behind by the Roman Empire, Hadrian's Wall. Over 72 miles of wall, forts and turrets stretching from the North Sea all the way to the Solway Firth. But the big question is, what's the wall for? When the Emperor Hadrian came to his province of Britannia in AD 122, there was a profound change happening to the empire. Up until then, in the 150 years since Augustus, the first emperor, the Roman Empire had no real borders. It had just grown and grown, with no apparent limit. But now the empire was increasingly coming up against obstacles. Powerful rival empires in the east, resurgent Germanic tribes beyond the Rhine, and tough, warlike people in what is now Scotland. They had to ask themselves the question, did they want to go on expanding indefinitely? And the answer for Emperor Hadrian was no. He wanted to consolidate, dig in, fortify a line around that empire. And that is why this is the northern edge of an empire in its prime. One that stretched from here across thousands of miles of Roman-controlled land and sea to the sands of the North African desert. The area around Oswald is the best place to see a continuous section of Hadrian's Wall, as the Romans planned it around 122 AD, with its large forts and smaller mile castles. Oswald follows the classic fort design of Hadrian's Wall. It has curved corners, giving it a playing card shape. There's large gateways on the east, west and south sides, and its northern edge runs along the line of the wall. There would have been a fortified gate here, giving access to the lands beyond the wall. According to Roman sources, there was unrest in northern Britannia in the early 2nd century AD. It's possible the wall was built, in part, to demarcate hostile tribal groups from those who were allied to Rome, like the Brigantes, who appear to have been the largest group in that region of Britain. No one who was here on the south side of this mighty wall 1,900 years ago can have been left in any doubt that they were now in an empire that meant business. Hadrian's Wall was so much more than just a gigantic defensive barrier. It marked the edge of empire, and it was the ideal place to regulate what moved between that empire and the lands that lay beyond. If you'd arrived at this gate 1900 years ago, the guards here would have been able to take a look at you, decide if you're a fit person to be let in, what you're allowed to bring with you, and how much tax they should levy. As such, even though it's gigantic and old and Roman, it's pretty recognisable as a modern frontier post. 20 miles to the east, in the central section of the wall, lies an unusual fortress, Chesters. Like all the major forts, it was added to the basic design of the wall a couple of years after construction began, possibly on the orders of Emperor Hadrian himself. Unlike Oswald, Chesters straddled the wall, so 3 of its gateways, north, east and west, were on the barbarian side of the defences, ready for high-speed deployment of cavalry. There's remarkable evidence revealing which troops were stationed here. It seems that this fort was garrisoned by an elite cavalry unit, and we know that thanks in part to this wonderful inscription found on this altar here. And it talks about the unit, the Ala Augusta, named after Augustus, the first emperor of Rome, on account of the bravery showed by these men in battle. Nearly 500 cavalrymen and their horses were stationed in this fort alone. It's an indication of the vast commitment to this defensive project in terms of men, animals and infrastructure. It's so fascinating that perhaps it's here, on the very edge of the Roman Empire, its northern extremity, that we can best understand what made that empire so mighty. The sheer scale of the remains here the richness, the quantity from coast to coast means we get an unrivaled insight into what made that empire tick. And it's all here, far from Rome, in the hills of northern England.